up in Kentucky and played there my last year. Had a great last season of college. Ended up not getting picked up. Invited to the Broncos mini camp, rookie camp in 2023, and they ultimately decided to let me go. Came back, got drafted in the UFL or the XFL at the time, and before the season started, they merged. That was kind of a stressful situation because half the teams got dropped from each league so that they could like fully combine. Well, my team stayed around, and then they ended up having a draft after the fact. So I was like, oh, you're not safe. But maintained through that time as well, and played last year, my first year. Had a good year. Came back and played this year, and we have our semifinal game coming up in a couple of days here.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a journey going through kind of the ups and downs of playing football. Last episode, we talked to an athlete playing out in Canada in the CFL, but I want to get your thoughts and your opinions on the difference between the NFL, the CFL, and now the UFL.
Yeah, it's super interesting actually the dynamic how it's forming. You know, the CFL was like that place that the guys turn to try to keep their hopes and dreams alive because it's the CFL still has a lot of eyes on it and a lot of popularity up in Canada, and there are some great players that have went and played in that league, and a few players that have found their way to the NFL from them. turns back around and helps us play better together. And got Isaiah Johnson, one of my safeties, awesome dude. Awesome dude. You know, he's one of those
Right.
guys who really learn from playing the game with him. He's there to get the reaching.
To go to break, but thank you so much for joining us, Momo. I appreciate it, and I want to wish you luck on your game next weekend. Stay tuned. Next guest coming up right after the break.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or on third-party delivery platforms.
Are you truly committed to feeling better? I mean, absolutely feeling your best? What's the key? Eat well, sleep well, lots of hydration through water, and also your daily innovative wellness athletic supplement packs. These packets are created to supplement your daily lifestyle, allowing your body to have the nutrients it needs to run efficiently. These packets include multi-omega fish oil, D3K2 5000, probiotic, and magnesium. It's nearly impossible to get all the nutrients our body requires to run efficiently on a regular basis from our food alone. Taking this daily packet will leave you feeling more energetic and more vibrant. Your brain body will be able to detoxify more efficiently, which naturally reduces inflammation. Find out today. InnovativeWellness.center. InnovativeWellness.center. And use the code SPORTS Overnight America.
My fellow Americans, let the message ring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, you buy the best. Handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what our servicemen and women gave their lives to protect, and by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's time to show the world just how great American can be. And we will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, together, and we will start today. Don't ever forget how great it is to be American. America we need right now. America. Premium vodka. Celebrate responsibly.
Soccer season rolls on here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. This is Tyler Levine, host of First Touch, the premier weekly global soccer show across the entire Sports Byline broadcast, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Simple Radio, and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. We're talking English Premier League, Champions League, our picks of the week, and a whole lot more. First Touch on Sports Byline USA Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern. See you there.
Welcome back to the Behind the Sports show on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network, presented by Innovative Wellness Center. No introduction needed. Welcome, the one, the only, Nico B-Sauce. Nico, how are you?
Hello, Giovanna. How are we doing? Thank you for having me on. Let me just say this. I got to admit, this is one of the most fun NBA seasons I've watched in a while, because we always see those big players and those big teams ending up in the pinnacle every single time. And I feel like the Pacers getting through the East has been a beautiful upset to watch. Everybody's at home watching Hallie balling out, the Knicks, the Celtics are out, and I got to tell you, I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, you dove right in before I could even give you anything to give, but I'm glad you did. I've kind of been feeling a little lonely because obviously we had a little bit of a break. That's going to end on the 5th of June tomorrow, as we'll see Game 1 of the Thunder and the Pacers duke it out. But yeah, I've been like, there's something missing in my life. There's no NBA, there's no NHL on right now, so I have been waiting for this Game 1 series. But I got to backtrack a little bit and talk about the Knicks. I said it earlier in this episode. They fired their head coach. What in the world is going on, in your opinion, with the Knicks organization right now?
Listen, the Knicks this year, I think they reached their pinnacle. And I do mean that by all means necessary. They did play amazing basketball. In the regular season, they looked shaky at some points, but they pulled through. They got all the way to the conference finals. And in my opinion, that loss in the first game in New York against the Pacers, where they gave up a 14, 15-point lead with a minute and a half to go, that must have hurt. I feel like that game is a stinger for their coach because, listen, when the team wins, the players get all the glory, and then when the team loses, the coach gets all the beep. But you know what I mean, right? Like the coach is always going to get the harshest end of the stick. I didn't think he did a bad job. I do think that maybe some players were mad at him, maybe because they didn't play enough, or maybe because he didn't draw enough plays. But ultimately, I feel like this is the wrong move for the Knicks for their future.
Let's talk about what you just said. Some players were mad at him because they didn't play enough, and it's a point that I will continuously make until it's properly addressed by the NBA in some way, shape, or form. But are we really going to let players dictate the firing of head coaches because they don't get enough PT? I mean, there could be a little bit of an argument there. Like if you're a good player and you should be on the court and actually contributing to a team, especially when it comes to the conference finals and the playoffs period. But are we really seeing this like model where like, hey, the players don't like you, sorry, you're out of there, despite the head coach arguably single-handedly taking them to their deepest playoff run in 25 years? I mean, that's just baffling to me.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But listen, this is not breaking news. This is the NBA. This is a players' league. And players, unfortunately, do dictate a lot of what happens on the court and a lot of what happens in the offseason as well. I mean, we've seen them with huge players like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. But then even now, Jalen Brunson and Towns, they also take a piece of the pie in terms of their success this year. And yeah, their award must be really heavy for the front office of the New York Knicks. I ultimately think it's the wrong move to make. But listen, players are always going to complain. When you lose the best player.
Please stand by for this special presentation of the iMedia One Network on the Live 365 Network and the Live 365 app.
Yeah, no, I'm stuck like I'm touchdown. I can do my dance like a touchdown. Yo, like I'm touchdown. I can do my dance like a touchdown. Yeah, no, I'm stuck like I'm touchdown. I can do my dance like a touchdown. Yo, like I'm touchdown. I can do my dance like a touchdown. I can do my dance like a touchdown. I can do my dance like a touchdown.
1240 and the iMedia One Network present the 39th Annual Mahoning Valley Coaches Association, ScoutingOhio.com, Jack Arvin Classic. We greet you from Liberty High School as we get ready for the annual meeting between Trumbull and Mahoning County. Mark Means, Jim Craven, Dave Ferris, Bob Gessler. We've got a house full here for this evening's broadcast. And just when we got back into football mode with the PAFL last week, we jump right back into high school for a night, Jim.
Yeah, certainly going to see some of the top talent in Mahoning and Trumbull counties, as well as Columbiana County. And a great night for it. Overcast skies right now, 75 degrees, but a lot of humidity, Mark. I think summer showed up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been hot and muggy and just uncomfortable the last couple of days. And we had a chance to get down on the field, talk to the coaches, but we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll hear from both head coaches in this game. You're listening to Sports Radio 1240 and the iMedia One Network.
Wearing number 2 from Champion, Colin Coates. Franklin.
Lena's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard, or call 234-254-8532.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
If I could be you.
And you could be me for just 1 hour.
If you could find a way.
To get inside each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Pregame show continues. We are joined by the head coach of the Mahoning County All-Stars. That is Coach Michael Dempster. Coach, first off, congratulations. What does it mean to you to be coaching this team today?
You know, these All-Star games are always fun. I had the opportunity to be the head coach of this game back in 2017 as well, and really enjoyed myself. I've coached the OVAC All-Star game, and as a player, I played in the Stark County East-West All-Star game. So All-Star games are always a lot of fun. It's good to see, the amount of talent, the football IQs that we see in practice every day, and to watch these kids kind of get to know each other and realize that they're a lot more alike than they thought is always one of my favorite parts.
This game is always interesting because there's two types of players in this game. There's the players that are going to go on and play at the next level, and there's some players that this may be their last time they put the pads on. How do you kind of approach talking to the guys about things like that?
Well, we just try to live in the moment, and I tell the guys, this is just a great opportunity. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that you had the opportunity to be picked to play in. So, just make sure you're enjoying. Make those relationships. Make sure that you're having fun. Go out and play as hard as you can Thursday. And, I don't have to tell the ones who aren't, going on or never going to strap these pads on again that this is their last one. They know that, and that's their motivation for many of them. So, I just want them to make sure that they have a positive experience, that they enjoy themselves, and that they give us all they got come Thursday night.
Coach, when you look at this game, I know you've had several practices to kind of gel as a team. How have those practices gone?
Really well. It's tough because this All-Star game is so early. There's still some conflicts, whereas we have some kids who are, were in track and doing regionals or off to a state meet. We've got guys that are playing baseball, guys that had graduation or graduation parties. So you kind of got to keep it simple because, of the 9 practices, I think on average most guys are going to make about 6 or 7. So, in 6 or 7 practices, we've got to make sure that we are on the same page on both sides of the ball So we just keep it simple. Again, we just try to get lots of reps, make sure that we're working some depth at different positions as well. But more than anything, it's just us, again, getting lots and lots of reps, making sure the kids are having fun, and just allowing them to go out and do what they do. You know, they're all-stars. They have a high skill level, and we just want them to play fast. We don't want them thinking. We don't want to make it confusing for them. We just want them to go out and do their thing. So, you know, as a coaching staff, that's kind of been our approach and our philosophy, and so far, so good.
Might we see any trick plays in an all-star game, Coach?
I mean, it's an all-star game, so you always try to, you know, have some fun in there, and it gives us something fun to work on in practice, too. You know, whether or not we'll have the opportunity to pull some of those things out, you know, remains to be seen, but yeah, of course, we're gonna try to make sure that we've got a few little gadget plays in there that the guys have fun with.
Trumbull County's won 2 of the last 3, Coach. How do you turn things around?
Well, again, I think we're just trying to keep it simple. You know, we want them to have fun. I always tell them that, you know, in my experience, the team that wins these do 2 things. Number 1, they gel as a group, and they play for each other. Number 2, they're on the same page. So that's been our goal, is to make sure that we are all on the same page, and to make sure that these kids are gelling, getting to know each other, and playing together. And I've seen a lot of that occurring over the last 2.5 weeks. So we're excited to, you know, finish out this week of practice.
Coach, best of luck. Thank you for your time.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
If I could be you,
And you could be me for just 1 hour.
if you could find a way
To get inside each other's mind.
walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Pregame show continues in tonight's All-Star game, joined by the head coach of the Trumbull County squad, Coach Smith from Liberty. And first off, Coach, it always has to feel special to have your staff being part of a game like this.
I think our staff, our community, our facilities, it's always, anytime we get to showcase what we have going on at Liberty is a great thing for the whole group.
How have the first couple of practices gone as you get ready for this week's game?
They've gone well. The kids are bought in. They're excited. I think everybody won one last chance to lace them up in high school football and play against some guys that they may know but have never had the chance to play against because the schedule didn't permit it, or they weren't in the same division. Gives kids a chance to amp up a little bit and get excited about some new blood.
Coach, how do you approach the aspect of, for some of your players, this may be the last time they put on the pads. For others, it's a step getting ready to play at the next level.
Sure. I think for the kids that know that they're done, they're going into the trades, or that, you know, they don't want to pursue football after, it's a motivating factor because they know this is their last chance to show what they've got against the best competition in the Valley. And I think the approach is a little different with the kids who are going to play college ball. There's I feel a pretty heavy responsibility to keep them safe and make sure we don't put them in a situation where they're jeopardizing their freshman year in college. So it's 2 totally different approaches with the kids. But I think our staff has done a great job at managing that and making sure guys are subbing in and getting reps when they need to and protecting themselves.
Speaking of reps, Coach, how are you planning that? Is one of your coaches kind of paying attention to trying to get as many equal reps as possible for all your players?
Our position coaches do a great job of making sure every couple of plays we have a whole new group in there and meshing together. And then on Thursday night during the game, they'll be in charge of subbing in for their positions. And then if there's decisions that the coordinators will make on top of that for who they want in during certain personnel groupings.
When you look at this game as a whole, it's been played for, I believe, 39 seasons now, and Trumbull County has had a lot of recent success. Is there any pressure to continue that?
For sure. I mean, anytime you have to follow in the footsteps of some of the great coaches that have been in this game and the great players in this game, you want to represent yourself and your staff and your school to the best of your ability. You know, but at the end of the day, I told the kids the number 1 goal is to win. The number 2 goal is to have fun doing it. So yeah, there's definitely pressure. There's been great coaches and trying to fill their footsteps. I'm not even trying to fill their footsteps, really. I'm just trying to hold my own.
In a game like this, you never know what kind of tricks the coaches may go to. Any plans if the situation arises for a trick play or two?
Yeah, I think that's a possibility. Just depends on what the game dictates.
Coach, as always, your time is appreciated. Thank you for having us, and we appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me, Mark. Looking forward to you guys being here.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
And we welcome you back to Liberty High School for the 39th Annual Mahoning Valley Coaches Association, ScoutingOhio.com, Jack Arvin Classic. As we approach the top of the hour, we remind you you're listening to the iMedia One Network and Sports Radio 1240 WBBW Youngstown, a Cumulus media station. Another broadcast partnership game in the summer, Jim, between iMedia One and Sports Radio 1240.
Well, there's absolutely no better time for football than just every day. So this is outstanding and a great opportunity to see some young men that for many of them will be the last time that they put on a helmet. Some of them will go on to college, and there's a sect there just enjoying being out with the guys they competed against for the last 4 years. So it should be a lot of fun.
You know, you look at the recent history. This is the third time in the last 4 years this game was played at a Trumbull County school. 2022, Trumbull County won at Hubbard 31-21. 2023, Mahoning County, they shut out Trumbull County 24-0 at Canfield. And last year was a low-scoring game that was decided late at Mineral Ridge. Trumbull County won 10-7. We're hoping for another good one tonight.
Yeah, and both teams.
How much can you really install in 9 practices?
Well, I go back to the things that, we did with Bob Gessler, at the semi-pro level, because you don't have the guys all the time, but you keep it a rudimentary. You keep the terminology basic. There are universal things that we use in terms of running pass patterns, blocking schemes, and certainly running the ball.
Is it more difficult in today's high school football to coach an all-star game because most teams, they throw it around the yard now. They don't run it like they all used to.
Well, I think some of the offenses are actually a little bit more complex than they were several years ago. So I think the football IQ of the high school players now are higher than they were, let's say, when you and I were in high school in, the early 90s. We'll give it away. We'll age ourselves
30
here.
Some years ago.
But I think right now that the football IQ is so much better. The ability to see video and games from all over the country and different styles really helps them. And for something like this, I think it's easier to coach.
So Trumbull County looks like they're going to be kicking. No, excuse me. Mahoning County will kick. Trumbull County, are they just not going to kick off, Jim?
Yep. There will be no kickoffs here. Of course, you want to avoid some injuries. Some of these gentlemen going on to college, we don't want to get those high percentage plays in there. Although I do like the new kickoff in the NFL. I'd like to see them adopt that.
Owen Jerkovic is the quarterback out of East Palestine. Rushed for almost 2,000 yards this past year. He's going to hand it off on a first down. That's going to be power football right up the middle and down to the 30 for about a 5-yard gain. It'll set up Mahoning County with a second down and 5.
And as you would expect, the 5 gentlemen right up there on that offensive line, downfield, 5 and 6 yard leading running back. And this is their opportunity to shine. Defensively, they'll have to make some adjustments. I think it's a little easier on the defensive side to do that.
So it is 2nd down and 5 for Mahoning County. 3-receiver formation. They're going to run the ball again right up the gut and hammering forward for about 3 yards. Going to set up a 3rd down and short for Mahoning County.
Yeah, and it looks like Mahoning County wants to test that right between the tackles there. Not seeing anything fancy in terms of blocking schemes. Are coming right off the line. Maybe a combo block, getting to the linebacker and driving him back. And you even seen on the tackle, the running back was low and into the linebacker's chest, rolling him over.
So 3rd down and 2 from the 33-yard line. Jerkovic going to work out of the pistol formation. 4 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, empty backfield. He's going to roll to that strong side, looking to run. He'll get across the 35, gets across the 40, 45, still pushing tacklers out near the 47-yard line. That is a load and big running back at quarterback and a big 1st down for 1st and 10 for Mahoning County at the 41-yard line. A substitute in, both coaches saying they're going to get everybody in as much as they possibly can. Twins to each side of the formation. Now the tailback sets up on a wing to the left side. That is Keegan White from Jackson Milton. They're going to flip it to the tailback, who's going to turn the corner. He'll hammer forward. He'll get about 9 yards. That's Quayus Patterson out of Ursuline, the 5'8", 165-pound athlete playing some tailback. Out of Ursuline, the 5'8", 165-pound athlete playing some tailback tonight.
Yeah, certainly a different style than the quarterback there. A little bit smaller there, but very fast. Getting out on that edge. Did a great job finding the lane, getting upfield, and you could see no dancing, no moving around, straight ahead, north and south.
Looks like we've got a timeout on the field. We will keep this one right here, as it's been an impressive drive by Mahoning County to get this one underway. And this drive has virtually, well, it hasn't virtually, Jim, it's been entirely on the ground to open things up here tonight.
Yeah, the first 6 plays all running, and just one play on the outside, 2 plays, with the quarterback going to the outside. But certainly power football here so far, and it's a feeling out process like any other game here in the first quarter. And so far, the Trumbull County squad, they're going to have to make some adjustments because their defensive linemen are washing out those linebackers, and it's making it easy for these skilled people.
Yeah, we talked about it when we were down on the field. That is a big offensive line for Mahoning County.
Yeah, and you look at Vince Boyle there. Struthers, 6'4", 300 pounds, and we were told that there was another young man who was supposed to play that was 6'7", 311. So we haven't even seen the biggest. But Boyle, I saw earlier, he was either pulling or in a zone blocking scheme, getting out there, and he's showing some feet. So certainly not only big, but athletic.
So it is 2nd down and a short 2 for Mahoning County from the Trumbull County 32-yard line as the rain continues to pick up here tonight.
The good news, not raining in the press box.
Never does. Jerkovic going to keep the football. He's going to run forward for the 1st down across the 25, and he'll spin his way down to the 21-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Mahoning County right there from the 21-yard line.
And this is all athleticism now. This isn't anything fancy. Again, 2 blocks. They're going off the tackle to that backside linebacker. And you see 3 out of the 5 linemen were right at the point where the ball was blown dead.
That's Owen Uriauchi, the quarterback from East Palestine. They'll have twins to the right, single receiver to the left side. They're going to run the football right up the middle, spinning off a tackle inside the 15 and down to the 14-yard line. That's Keegan White from Jackson Milton, the 5'11", 205-pound running back.
Yeah, this is the type of offense you want to run, especially in these conditions. Rain coming down steady, relatively heavy. And you can see the rotation going in and out there. Now, both squads, they're not a big squad here. I think Mahoning said he was right around the 26-player mark, and I would figure Trumbull right around that 30 mark.
So 2nd down and 3 for Mahoning County. That is Jason Dukes now in there at the quarterback spot. Dukes going to be stood up and driven back just shy of the 10-yard line. He's going to be good enough for a 1st down, however, and that'll move the chains for Mahoning County.
Yeah, a little bit different player there with Jason Dukes. He replaces a quarterback that's 6'1", 220, a little bit smaller, 5'10", 190, so not quite the wrecking machine coming through the line, but still with a positive gain.
Uriauchi back in, 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. 7 minutes, 15 seconds to play, scoreless in the opening quarter. Mahoning County going trips to the left, single receiver right side, running back is to the right of Iriauchi. He's going to give it to him, trying to sweep to the outside, bounces off the first tackler, and able to work his way back near the line of scrimmage. That time it's number 10, Spencer Pruitt from Columbiana, as we have 3 10s on the roster for Mahoning County.
Yeah, for Trumbull got 3 threes. One of them coming through there, got to the point of attack, did a great job, but went to make the tackle, dropped their head down. As soon as you drop the head down, you can't see where you're at. That running back's going to make a move, turn what should a negative play into a positive play.
2nd and 10 from the Trumbull County 12-yard line. 6.5 minutes to play, scoreless in this opening quarter. Trips to the right, single receiver to the left side, running back to the right of the quarterback, Iriauchi. He's going to take the snap, hesitates in the hole, looking to run with the football. He'll work his way down to the 5-yard line. He'll pick up 5, and it brings up now a 3rd down and 5 for Mahoning County.
A little bit better on the Trumbull defensive side there. You can see the left side of the Mahoning offensive line stepped up and just turned the player. Didn't get quite the push, and they picked up just a couple of yards that time. Probably the best defensive play for Trumbull so far.
So 3rd down and 5. I do believe that was our first flash of lightning. We will continue to play as they will hand the ball off to the tailback and into the end zone. That is Keegan White on the touchdown run for Mahoning County.
They take the 6-0 lead.
Now this is not only an all-star staff for the players, this is an all-star officiating staff. They have just now started that 30-minute clock. They wait till all the players exit the field. Still got a couple heading to the locker rooms that are off to our left, and you never know who you're going to run into when you come to a game like this, and we've all had a chance to run into a lot of familiar faces.
Yeah, from around the valley, too, between being able to go to different schools and get to know these young men and even some of their parents to some degree, and then some of them you went to school with, that maybe were from Wilson High School, maybe moved out to Hubbard. There's a connection there somewhere. I mean, I'm going somewhere with that.
There may be a little bit of connection for both of us there, but that's the thing about these games. You see coaches, you see familiar faces that you've seen throughout the season, and it's one of those where you kind of just get a chance to catch up because we're still, we're early June. We're 3+ months away from the start of the high school season.
Well, unless you're part of the iMedia One network, then football never seems to end. We just fill it in with hockey from time to time as well with our Youngstown Phantoms, but certainly, PAFL football, high school football, and this is a great opportunity. Again, there's a lot of guys here that will never do this again in their life. There'll be a few that will go on to college. We talked to Dave Hamrock, the father of Gabe Hamrock from Hubbard, and he's going to head to Westminster. But and for a lot of these guys, it's just the last opportunity to come and play in front of the local fans, and may never get to do that again as well.
I'm not familiar with that school. Where do they play their football?
What would that be? You talking about Westminster?
Never heard of them.
Very nice college out there in Western Pennsylvania. You should absolutely go out there and see it. I hear they have a great rivalry with a little school over here called the Grove City Wolverines.
I may have done a few 6 or 8.
Get to do that again. Over here called the Grove City Wolverines.
I may have done a few 6 or 8 football games from there. But while we have time, it is a very busy week here on the iMedia One Network. And, of course, we're partnered with Sports Radio 1240 for tonight's high school football game. Tomorrow night, we go on the air about 5:50 just on the iMedia side of things for the 10th annual Mahoning Valley All-Star Classic brought to you by Baird Brothers. We'll be on the air at 5:50. First pitch, hopefully weather not great for baseball tomorrow either, but just another great way to showcase the talent in the Valley.
Yeah, certainly, and in a venue that's absolutely beautiful. So hopefully we'll luck out here, get some great weather, and see you in, I think, your more natural element. I mean, like, you're really at home on that baseball side. So
I may have called 100 or so games from that press box, so pretty familiar with it, although I don't know if we're going to be in the home booth or the visiting booth. I know my producer would probably prefer the visiting booth because there's a lot more space to work with.
Well, and you're kind of a celebrity there, so they should give you your choice, whatever you want.
And then our football coverage continues. 3:45 will go on the air. 4 o'clock kickoff. Second game for the Patricians in the PAFL as they take on the Rapids this week. A team you saw play the Cobras last week.
Yeah, certainly a new team in name only, if I can get that out. A lot of veteran players on there doing a great job. Got to go up and see a game with them at InfoCision Stadium on the campus of Akron University, and they're doing a great job in there. Came up with a last-minute field goal to beat the Cleveland Cobras last week, what many considered an upset. But we look forward to this week, and we will be in Louisville at St. Thomas Aquinas as the Cobras look to bounce back. They'll take on the Ohio Broncos. Both teams 0-1, and will be a 4:45 pregame and 5 o'clock kickoff.
If you are looking for some football to fill your fix till the high school season starts, the Patricians are at home on Saturday at 4 o'clock. You just have to remember it is the old Jackson Milton Blue Jay Stadium. Don't go to the high school. There won't be any games there.
No, certainly. We've done some games from there. Still a nice venue and I'm sure they're going to have several events there, including the youth programs. We used to love to go up there. Coach and I did that, and we noticed if you're in the press box and you're kicking it through the field goal to the right, chances are you may lose a few players in recovering the ball out there in the woods. So I think we lost a few freshmen from Springfield one year, but we're yet to see them again.
Never to be seen again. So it will definitely be a busy week. Baseball, 2 football games on Saturday, and it just kind of gets us rolling because, I say only about 3 months till high school football season, but internally we're saying we've only got 3 months to get everything ready.
Yeah, and certainly that's the case. It comes so fast here. Just talked to a bunch of the young men there for the other day, their last day of school out at Poland, and before you know it, we're going to be talking about the week 1 of the Ohio high school football season, as Tim Continenz always says, the fastest 10 weeks of the year, and certainly it is that.
And we've got a lot of exciting things leading up to that. As we just found out this week from our friend Tim Street of the OHSAA, they are bringing back their high school football broadcasters seminar, one-day event on July 30th at the OHSAA headquarters. Our whole crew of 5 is heading down to Columbus for the day, and we get to hear from Tim Alcorn, the voice of the Cavs.
Yeah, which is that alone would be enough for us half the time. I mean, when we go down there, you would introduce me to that. Tim Street doing a great job bringing everybody together, and it's an opportunity to see how everybody does everything and what improvements we can have. And we talk about broadcasting, as I call it, radio nerding. We love it. It's a good time. But there's a little bit more for us with him being there, something we have to look forward to, more you than anybody.
And you know what? We have not made this public, so why not do it today when we have some time with a lightning delay? Clock still sitting at about 24 minutes to go. We worked with Tim Alcorn in the offseason, and he has a history of when he's not doing games for the Cavaliers, he likes to join broadcast crews of Cavaliers affiliate stations. So we try to work on a date that worked for him, worked for us, and Tim's going to be coming down from Cleveland to join us for the Ursuline-Austintown Fitch game that we will have on Sports Radio 1240.
Well, first of all, a privilege for us to have him.
Coming down from Cleveland to join us for the Ursuline-Austintown
and go around the state of Ohio, and he does it different weeks. And I think you have picked a wonderful game to do down at an old Steel Valley Conference matchup, and that should be something to look forward to.
Lots of press.
Always a battle. You think back to, I know when we were in high school, it was the Steel Valley Conference, and every matchup in that conference was a big one.
And the 1240 schedule, we're about 11 of the 12 season are locked in place, have one more to secure, and then I think the plan is going to be to announce a couple each day for 2 weeks or so on our social medias for 1240.
Maybe a Christmas in July promotion. Could that be it? And kind of wet the whistle a little bit as we get ready for high school football, because we know that is the center of the high school sports world right there for them 10 weeks.
And this year it's not just Friday nights under the lights, because there's 2, here's your schedule tease, 2 Thursday night games coming as well.
And we can't say who it is right now, but again, we're going to bring you all the football we can in the area. There's plenty of it, great talent in the Valley, and certainly always a great match, especially the first week. We love that, as they'll have Thursday, Friday, and Saturday football in the area.
And it's one of those where, what year are we now in with our partnership with Cumulus? The years just seem to go by faster the older I get.
Yeah, we go back all the way to 2018. I mean, not that I don't see that as that long ago, but as you get older, you know, the 90s seem like it was just yesterday as well. But, you know, the work with Bill Kelly, Charlie Conley, and Ben Slagle and all, what an outstanding group. And I say it all the time because it's hard to believe that they trust us with their airwaves to bring you all of this, and it's just so much fun. And the appreciation is more than I can explain to them.
I officially know we have worked together a long time, although it's been a while since we have. That's where I was going to go right next. Bill, Charlie, Ben, everybody involved that helps us with the transition and how we're able to get our feed onto 1240, back off of 1240, and it has been a great partnership with them. And I asked, I said, how about we do an all-star game? And he said, sure, why not?
Well, and there's this guy that over on the iMedia One side that plugs things in, and we don't know how things work from time to. We don't know but I'll tell you, we've come up with the most creative ways to do things, and that's been that's part of the fun in doing this, is seeing how we can push the limits and how much more we can bring the Valley, and certainly love it. And I always tease every week, whether I'm doing a Canton Akron Jets game, a high school game, if you can get a Dave Ferris, get a Dave Ferris. If you can get them on Amazon, if we can clone them, we would sell them, and it would be the greatest thing when Amazon shows up. And doing this is seeing how we can push the limits. And
I'm for yourself. I'm for yourself. At AARP, we can help with information and useful tips on how you can maintain a healthy life balance, care for your own physical and mental well-being, and manage the challenges of caring for a loved one. Because the better care you take of yourself, the better care you can provide for your loved one.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you. You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, class. Let's hear what everyone did this weekend. Jill?
Well, I raised my older sister to a big oak tree. It was at least
Jill?
Well, I raised my older sister to a big oak tree. It was at least 100 years old. My mom said I must have set a record or something. And then we went down by a stream and perched up on this huge rock and saw all of these little minnows swimming around way below us. And then I rescued my little brother from an evil slug king who was guarding him at the bush fortress. And my sister and I brought him back to our super twig fort for safety. And then we all laid out and told stories until it got dark. And the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Awesome. Where were you, Jill?
Yeah. We went out and told stories until it got dark. And the Big Dipper led us all the way home. Wow. We went to the forest. It's not that far away. Anyone want to come this weekend?
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week and find the fun, adventurous you. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Lena's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki.
The benefits and services offered, or call today. The Mahoning County Veterans Service Commission, serving those who have served.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local events. Tune in and be part of their live weekly shows, as well as the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the PAFL. Find them on westernreserveradio.com, tune in, and the Live 365 app to be part of the area's conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio or on Twitter at WR_radio.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Weather delay continues here at the home of the Liberty Leopards for the 39th annual Mahoning Valley Coaches Association. ScoutingOhio.com, Jack Arvin Classic. That's a nice short name, like when I did that game for Grove City, and they played Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. And after pregame, they were RPI the rest of the game.
The fact that you got that out as cleanly as you did is a testament to your professionalism. That's all I can say.
There may have been some practice the week we played RPI. I'm not going to deny it.
There would be a lot of practice for me because I would sound like I was having a bad medical condition.
That was like the game that played RPI. I'm not going to deny it.
There would be a lot of practice for me because I would sound like I was having a bad medical condition.
That was like the game that that high school game you did in Janae School.
Certainly, my first game ever to do that. We little technical difficulty there, but what a great atmosphere! And I'll tell you, that's where the radio bug bites you.
You know, you look up and down this Mahoning County roster. The staff is East Palestine. Michael Dempster is the head coach. You heard him in the pregame show, and it's his staff. And there's a lot of skill, but there's also a lot of guys that we saw during last year's high school football season.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you start with Jason Dukes at Struthers. What an outstanding quarterback he is. Yanni Hazmahalis, if nothing else, one of the funnest names to say in high school football. Working in the secondary and is a receiver for the Poland Bulldogs.
Yeah, you look, you've got Jason Dukes, the quarterback that was at Struthers. You go down the list, Joey Senefo. Look to mention together.
And they're still even a little bit short now, so it's nice to see if you can involve that a little bit more. There's great talent down in there, and it's a lot of talent that we do see week to week here, either on the iMedia One network or throughout whatever. But certainly, it's nice to involve them and get to see more of that expanded talent.
And there's some beef on this roster. You look at Trenton, Carcerelli from Austintown Fitch, 6'1", 300. Parker Namey from Western Reserve, 6'3", 300. You mentioned Vince Bola already, 6'4", 300. So it's not, the skill guys get all the attention in an all-star game like this. But for the skill guys to do what they do, the big guys up front have to do their job.
Yeah, and you look at just the average here at 270, 300, 245, 300. That's a line that you would love to play behind any time of the year. Again, especially with the height, you're a little bit of a shorter running back there. You're finding those small holes and squeezing through. But certainly, when you say all-star, this is definitely the lineup.
Right. There's the skill guys are there too. You talk about Anthony Ruggles, the kicker from Austintown Fitch, who I want to say Toledo is a Toledo verbal commitment, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. And that's the interesting too, the thing that I wanted to talk about. And I asked both coaches, but I ask you as a former player. This has got to be so different for the individual in a situation like this, because there's probably 3, 4, maybe 5 guys on each roster that are going to play at the next level. For the majority of these guys, it's the last time they're putting the pads on. So we really hope the weather lets up and they get a chance to play.
Yeah, I don't want to see anything rained out here. Again, they look forward to this, and they've been working for weeks on this, and I didn't realize they got as many practices in as they did, which is a great thing, but you don't want to see that taken care of because, like you said, there's guys that will never put that helmet on again. They'll never know that. They'll never play in front of a home crowd. And, I was fortunate later in life to get to do that again, but I know that feeling that at 18 years old, you realize that all the years that you've played from Little League, where maybe Dad was the coach, up till, one of the local great coaches in the Valley, took over the program for you. And you think, well, I'm never going to do that again, but some of these guys will. Again, we talked to a couple of dads here. Their sons are going to move on to college. But, it gets a little bit of emotional thinking this is going to be my last time here, and I'm going to move on into that adult phase of my life.
And you know what? I, being involved in it, have always been a proponent of it. But just because you're not going to a Division I school to play football does not mean your football career has to be over. There is great football played at the FCS level, at the D2 level, at the D3 level, at the NAIA level. It's still high-quality football.
And I think that's being more seen, to your point, now that with the internet providing more coverage for these teams and they see the environment. teams that we've seen, especially the Grove City Wolverines, Coach DiDonato crew over there, that is a destination place now. You go over there, the environment is fantastic. The staff, they don't talk a good game. They walk a good game. They do what they say they're going to do, and they raise young men to go out into life afterwards. It's not just football, and I think that's where it's becoming huge. You talk about the President's Athletic Conference. We see a lot of that. Of course, you see more than anybody here, but you see on game day, okay, maybe it's not Ohio Stadium with 103,000, but it might be Grove City College with 8,000 in there squeezed in, and it's still a great place to be. We've seen guys that have gotten tryouts from this level at the NFL or in the NFL level. So certainly, no, it's not the end, and I think we're so focused on what we see on Fox and ESPN and the big games, and those are great. Those are the best of the best, but it's certainly there's so many avenues now and great places to get an education as well.
And it's one of the things you and I say all the time. If you're playing Division I or you're playing Division III or anywhere in between, if you are good enough to play at the next level, they will find you.
Yeah, certainly. We've talked about that, and especially having been involved with hockey, I hear a lot of letters there, AAA, AA, or Division I, Division V. But if you have the talent, there's going to be somebody out there that is going to find you. They're going to come and see you play, and that's when you take advantage of those opportunities. And again, you may not end up in Ohio State or Texas. There's so very few players that do. I think they often say 1% of all football players go to the NFL. But that doesn't mean that there's not opportunities out there to enjoy yourself on a Saturday afternoon playing college football. And, we can give you a half a dozen colleges, especially that you see in the fall, that are great environments. And, again, I go back to their great educations as well. I know it's not popular to say now because of the NIL and everything else, but that's still a priority. You should be going there to get that degree, and these schools are second to none when you talk about football programs.
We are in a weather delay in the Mahoning Valley Coaches Association, scoutingohio.com, Jack Arvin Classic. Mahoning County, before the delay, capped off the opening drive with the first touchdown of the game.
Yeah, certainly. Was 12 plays, 75 yards, and they get in the end zone on a 6-yard run. We have not kicked the extra point, so I assume they're going to do that if we're doing that here in this game. Of course, special teams not something they're focusing on, but nonetheless, it was all positive plays for the Mahoning team. Trumbull defensively, they're going to have to make some adjustments between the tackles.
Our weather delay clock is approaching 7 minutes to go. If that is accurate with our officiating crews, keep checking with the locker rooms that are off to our left to see if we start to see some players coming out of the locker rooms. We are going to take another break. When we come back, we turn our attention towards some of the big names on the Trumbull County roster. It is Mahoning County 6, Trumbull County 0 in a weather delay here at Liberty on Western Reserve Radio and the iMedia One Network.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier. Then make sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Lena's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard, or call 234-254-8532.
Veterans, the Mahoning County Veterans Service Commission is here to help you. Whether you served 5 years ago or 50 years ago, if you are honorably discharged from active military service, you may be eligible for benefits, including Veterans VA benefits, county financial assistance, assisted living benefits, and more. Our friendly and supportive staff is ready to help you. Go to mcveterans.org to see all of the benefits and services offered, or call today. The Mahoning County Veterans Service Commission, serving those who have served.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local events. Tune in and be part of their live weekly shows, as well as the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the PAFL. Find them on westernreserveradio.com, tune in, and the Live 365 app to be part of the area's conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio or on Twitter at WR_radio.
I'm 54, so basically, it's too late to start saving for retirement, right?
Not right. Starting to save, even in your 50s, can really make a difference.
Well, right now, saving seems hard to wrap my head around. Plus, with the way this year's been going...
Hey, listen, it's okay. You still got this. Just go to aceyourretirement.org. It's an online tool from AARP that can help you get your retirement savings on track no matter your age. It's free and only takes about 3 minutes.
I like 3 minutes.
Yeah, at aceyourretirement.org, you'll chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer a few questions and you'll get a personalized plan and tips to help boost your retirement savings. Tips that are easy to understand and tailored to your lifestyle.
I like that too.
Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back. Just head to aceyourretirement.org and make your plan to start saving for retirement.
Thanks.
That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Welcome back to Liberty High School. The lightning delay clock is at 3.5 minutes. We were told by the Mahoning County coaching staff that this will be the warm-up period. When the clock hits 0, Jim, we're going back to live action.
Yeah, certainly. It's been a little bit of time here, so a half hour. They'll have to come warm up again. It was always I always disliked weather delays, to say the least. You come out, you're all wet and everything, got to warm up again. But I don't think it's dampened any of the spirit of these players. They look like they're having a good time.
We mentioned a lot of the players on the Mahoning County roster. You look at the Trumbull County roster, led by Coach Todd Smith and the Liberty Leopards coaching staff. And he's got Trumbull County covered from one corner to the other.
Yeah, certainly. It's been all-inclusive here. I see some of the names that we got to see this year, including Alex Hackwelder out of Hubbard. Got to see him against Poland. He's a big, imposing player. And too bad he's a senior. I'd like to see him for a couple more years. He's quite the talent.
I look at the roster. I see a name I know because, well, Dave and I went to school with his father, Thomas Easton, who played at Lakeview this past year. He is a commit to Mount Union, which I told his dad, I'm like, I'm going to have to beat you a couple times this year. But, the thing that is interesting about this year, there is a lot of our local talent going to the Division III level and a lot to Mount Union.
Oh, and I think it goes back to the conversation we just had that they're finding out that these are destination places. They offer so much more now than they did years ago, and I think you can have that same experience and not have the ties to Division I.
So they have put 5 minutes and 49 seconds up on the clock as we get set to resume play as rain continues much lighter, and, honestly, I know we were talking, but I saw only a couple of strikes, and then that system kind of moved through quickly.
Yeah, let's hope that's going to be the case here. Actually cooled things off a little bit, but that humidity may kick back in once it stops completely, as the officials, they're going to get in place for the extra point.
So we will have the extra point coming up here for the Mahoning County squad. Looks like Jason Dukes is going to do the holding.
Will attempt the extra point. Jason Dukes is holding.
That is number 9, Brock Klein connect, I hope. Snap down, there is no rush, and the extra point is up, and that extra point is good. So with 5:49 to play here in the opening quarter, Jim, the Mahoning County All-Stars take the football right down the field and put it in the end zone.
Yeah, you couldn't be happier with that first drive. 12 plays, 75 yards, no negative plays on there, although Trumbull County was in position to make a play or two in the backfield, but kind of put their head down, missed some tackles. So I don't know if you get a much more flawless first possession than that. We'll see how Trumbull responds.
Now, Mahoning County had to deal with a lot of that hard rain as that entire drive, all 12 plays of that drive on the ground, and the majority of that inside the tackle. So here comes the Trumbull County squad in red. See, that looks like that might be Alex Hackwelder from Hubbard at the quarterback spot. He's going to go under center, send a receiver in motion. Single receivers to each side, eye into the backfield. Hackwelder to throw it on first down, goes underneath, pass caught across the 35-40, down near the 45-yard line. That's, we're going to say the knee went down at the 45. Try and get you a number on that receiver.
Tight end Ian Odo. Brought down by.
And that pass is going to be caught by Odo on the reception.
That was a nice play action going to the backside there. He just found an area just right around the hash mark, sat down and waited for the ball, and Hackwelder did a good job getting the ball to him.
Hackwelder under center. Eye in the backfield, wing to the right. He's going to hand it off on first down. There's no running room whatsoever. That's Gabe Hernandez from Lakeview, got swallowed up in the backfield for no gain. It's second down and 10.
Yeah, the handoff was just to the fullback that was lined up about a yard off the line of scrimmage. And it's a little hard to find room there because your linemen aren't able to really get off the ball and get that push before he gets through that hole. So Mahoning doing a good job there with a team tackle. There are 5-6 guys in there at the point of attack.
Trumbull County going to spread it out with two receivers to each side. Wing to the left. Two backs in the backfield with Hackwelder. That wing back goes in motion. They're going to flip it to the running back, trying to turn the corner, and he is going to be stood up and driven back at the line of scrimmage. That looks like
Jason Dukes, the running back.
That is number 2. That's Shamar Franklin, number 2 on the carry.
The Mahoning County All-Star team.
So no gain on that play, Jim. It sets up third down and 10 for Trumbull County.
For Franklin getting to play here at his home stadium. Went out to the right side there, but they strung that play out so far. He tried to cut back in, but by the time he did, the backside pursuit from the linebackers was already there and kept him right at the line of scrimmage.
4 minutes to play, opening quarter. Mahoning County 7, Trumbull County 0. Trumbull County facing a 3rd and 10 from their 45-yard line. Single receiver to the right, trips to the left. Hackwelder with one running back in the backfield with him. He'll drop to throw. 3-step drop. Stands in the pocket. He's going to be hit. He's going to be knocked down and sacked in the backfield. As the Mahoning County defense there looked like Rocco DeFlorio from Austintown Fitch there to make the play.
Yeah, for the defensive line, they're doing a great job. They're demanding double teams, and they're not getting off those double teams to get to the linebackers. And I'll tell you, DeFlorio came through untouched. And they're going to have to protect Hackwelder a little bit. He can't afford to be taking shots like that.
That looks like Colin Cope from Champion out to do the punting for Trumbull County. Jason Dukes, one of the 2 men back deep for Mahoning County.
Now, I don't think there's going to be a return on this. It's just going to be a change in field position.
Hackwelder was coming on the field when that ball was kicked.
Not normally something you can get away with September through December, but today they'll let that one go.
That's Joey Verone from Poland on the fair catch. And Mahoning County has their hands on the football for the second time here today with 2:51 to play in the opening quarter.
Yeah, we'll see what adjustments the defensive can make. Usually defensively it's easier to make those adjustments because you're more reactive than you are initiating the action. So we'll see if those linebackers can stay a little bit cleaner, maybe get to that ball a little bit faster.
So 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line for Mahoning County, going left to right, trips to the right, single receiver to the left side. They're going to hand the ball off on first down, sweep it to the outside. First penalty flag of the game. It's Carson Brock in there at the quarterback spot from Latonia, 6'3", 185 pounds, and going to be a holding penalty on Mahoning County.
I'm not sure it's going to be Davis or Withrow on the hold, but it was pretty obvious. Had lost his footing. The defender was getting around him. And you can see that hand go up into the top of the shoulder pads and the shoulder of the defender come down. An easy call for the officials.
So back it up, 1st and 20 from the 35-yard line. We're going to slide over here and encroach on Dave's spot so we can see the play. 1st and 20 from the 25-yard line. Brock is the quarterback. He'll go under center. Single receivers to each side. He'll turn, stretch handoff to the tailback. That is Keegan White, number 24, who's upended for no gain. It's going to be second down and long.
And Aiden Allen making the tackle, doing a good job off that left end. Didn't get too deep into the backfield. That's a mistake that a lot of guys make, is you'll get too deep and they'll overrun the play. But did a good job there reading the I formation. And Coach and I talk once in a while as these offenses develop and you're seeing a lot more spread and 4 wide receiver sets. Sometimes defenses really don't know how to approach an I formation.
Second down and 20 from the 25-yard line of Mahoning County. Single receiver right, trips to the left side. It's Brock, the quarterback. Takes the snap, 2-step drop, sets up the tunnel screen that got deflected away and incomplete. Looks like it was might have been Aiden Allen, number 11 there from Warren Harding, got his hand on the football.
Yeah, second play and as many times there for us to say his name. But a quick pass out to the far side. There really wasn't there. Might have been a little bit smarter to throw it away, but incomplete nonetheless, so really no harm, no foul on that.
So Brock going to go to the sidelines, get the play call here on third down, and officially they'll say 19. And this has been a tough drive for Mahoning County, Jim. They found themselves behind the chains pretty much the entire possession.
Yeah, 3 plays, negative 11 yards here so far in this possession after going 12 plays and 75 yards with no negative plays.
So 3rd and 19 from the 26-yard line. It's Brock, the quarterback. 2 to the right, 3 to the left side. He'll work alone in the backfield. Under a minute to play in the quarter. Brock to throw it with time. Pressured up the middle, rolling to the outside. He's going to fire this one sidearm downfield and into traffic at the 35-yard line. And incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down and long.
Yeah, instant pressure coming in, so I don't know if he was looking for an intended receiver or threw it out. Either way, it goes out of bounds, and it'll bring up 4th down. They'll have to punt this one away.
So they will wind the clock as they will bring on the punting unit for Mahoning County once again. So that is Anthony Ruggles, the kicker for the Austintown Fitch Falcons, who's had a fantastic career, one of the top kickers in the state of Ohio.
That's certainly one of those positions that are highly sought out and at the college level could be key.
And all broadcasters love kickers.
Yes, we do. I believe Coach Gessler gets very excited to see a very good kicker.
So no rush, looping snap back to Ruggles. He gets off a booming end-over-end kick that is fair caught at the 35-yard line. And that is where Trumbull County will take over as we have come to the end of the first quarter. After one in the Mahoning Valley Coaches Association 39th Annual Jack Arvin Classic, after one, Mahoning County 7, Trumbull County 0 on the iMedia 1 Network and Sports Radio 1240.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier. Then make sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday 10 to 4 and Saturday 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Second quarter put up on the scoreboard, 7-0 in favor of Mahoning County. Trumbull County with the football. Going to put the new quarterback under center. That is Hackwelder, who stays in there for the second series, and there is no running room whatsoever. Maybe a half-yard gain for Trumbull County. Call it second down and a long 9.
Yeah, I think the pile moved forward, and that's where they got the half a yard, but it was a complete stalemate at the line of scrimmage. Really nowhere to go for the running back, and was just kind of hemmed up in that crowd, but fortunately got a positive fall ahead.
Parker Namey, big number 74 in there, leading that push up front. Hackwelder going to put single receivers to each side of the formation. 2 running backs in the backfield with him. Overlooks the Mahoning County defense. Takes the snap. He's going to fake it. He's going to keep it. try to get to the outside, and he is going to be spun down back in the backfield near the 32-yard line. Hackwelder, a dual threat for Hubbard this past year, but had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, Jason Dukes read that beautifully. Never hesitated, never bought in any of the read action that he was seeing in the backfield. Came right up there and caused just chaos in the backfield. Waited for a few more teammates to come up to clean it up.
So we'll spot this football at the 34, so that's a loss of 1. And we'll bring up 3rd down and long for Trumbull County. Thomas Easton out of Lakeview now in there at one of the running back spots. And now the play clock rolling down, and looks like Mahoning County took the timeout. 10:19 to play, first half. Mahoning County 7, Trumbull County 0 on the iMedia 1 Network and Sports Radio 1240.
Lena's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard, or call 234-254-8532.
Third and 11 for Trumbull County. Hackwelder takes the snap, stands tall in the pocket, backside pressure, hit as he throws, and that pass falls incomplete. Closest player to that football was Wyatt Kuboff from Springfield for Mahoning County. And the Mahoning County defense continues to stand tall here in the first half.
Yeah, I've gotten to see Wyatt Kuboff since he was a freshman, and he has developed so well. And I always compared him to that Mill Hunk type person. You know, he brings his lunch pail, he goes to work, puts in the time, and goes home. And that was something that we really enjoyed about that young man. Again, he started since he was a sophomore, I believe, so a very experienced linebacker.
Cope to punt for Champion, and Trumbull County gets this kick away. That is going to be fielded right around the 30-yard line. We'll see where they spot it. See, for Mahoning County, that was Joey Verone from Poland back there to return that punt with Jason Dukes as well.
Joey Verone fields the punt, and now Mahoning County will take over. So it's the pen at their own.
So no special teams here today so far, Mark. I mean, it was, again, we talk about those safety issues. And Coach and I, we've talked about the changes with the special teams, like in the UFL and now the NFL. And we're going to see how long it's going to take before it trickles down to the high school level.
They'll spot the ball at about the 28-yard line for Mahoning County. Let's see who gets the call on this series. I'm at that spot where I want to throw in the nickname, the mascot, and don't have one for this broadcast.
No, certainly there's not.
We've got white and blue, or white and red.
Maybe it's something we work on coming up here.
So first and 10 for Mahoning County. It looks like Hiriauchi's back in there at quarterback. He'll take the snap. He's going to keep it, and he is going to just try and push his way forward, get about one. It is second down and 9 for Mahoning County.
That looked like the Trumbull County squad. They delayed a little bit. The offensive line on that left side literally ran past them, and they were able to stop him for just a couple, maybe a yard gain, but that's the smallest gain he's had so far. And you talk about him physically being over 6 foot, and over 200 pounds. He's a load to stop.
Alec Abrams from Western Reserve bringing the play in. Now we've got whistles, and we've got another Mahoning County timeout as they just weren't quite set with what they wanted to run on second down and 9.
Yeah, and certainly I would expect that to happen from time to time, with a team you've only spent 8 or 9 practices with. So there'll be a little confusion, and maybe even some of the terminology will be a little confusing. You're trying to make some adjustments at the line, but nonetheless, you can't take them with you. And we talked about a little bit of trivia. There's a staff member for the Mahoning side from the original Columbiana County Scourge, Tristan Reynolds. So it was, of course, covered that team here for several years. Guy I know used to be the play-by-play for them.
You know, I feel like, I don't know who that guy is. I feel like when I started doing games with my mentor, the great John Caporanis, everywhere we went, he knew someone. Now I do games with you, and I feel like it's the same thing. No matter what sport we are covering, you find somebody you know.
I'll tell you, the internet has made the world so small where you get to know a lot more people, you travel a lot more. And, I laugh when I see these young guys reaching out to people from across everywhere.
Single receiver to the right, 2 to the left side. Yariauchi takes the snap. He'll give the ball to White, trying to sweep to the outside. He broke through the first wave of tacklers, has the first down and more as he gets to the 40-yard line. That'll move the chains for Mahoning County.
Yeah, Keegan White doing a great job. Initially was looking for that tool right to between the guard or center and the guard, bounced to the outside, and he's a little bit shorter there. Somebody tried to tackle him up high. He was able to duck it and get that first down.
Keegan White had a fantastic career for the Jackson Milton Blue Jays. Had a chance to see them earlier during the regular season in a game that also featured a monsoon. First and 10 at the 39-yard line. Yuriauchi's going to look for a seam, and he'll slip through one and get down to about the 40-yard line.
A simple blocking scheme, just turning left, getting on your guy, not quite a zone blocking, but close to it, and just driving their feet. You see that rhythm coming back for this first unit for the Mahoning side that had the 12-play, 75-yard drive the first time.
Second down and 4 from just outside the 45-yard line of Mahoning County. Yuriauchi going to send trips to the right, twins to the left. He'll be alone in the backfield. Down to 7.5 minutes to play in the half. He's going to try and keep the football and squeeze forward. He stood up after a short gain of 1. And while we have a moment, we remind you, you're listening to Sports Radio 1240 WBBW Youngstown, a Cumulus media station, and the iMedia One Network, your number one pairing for high school football broadcasts. 7 minutes, 5 seconds to play in the half. Mahoning County with the football in a 7-0 lead. Single receiver right, 2 to the left. Yuriauchi in the backfield takes the snap. He'll hand it off to White. And White bottled up after a short gain. It's going to bring up 4th down and 2, and decision time, Jim, for Coach Dempster.
Well, I look at it this way. This is a great time to take a shot here since we're not really doing a lot of special teams. I say go for it. Let's have some fun.
We haven't seen Mahoning County throw the ball at all yet.
No, they haven't had to. This has been a power game now. I'm not sure that the receivers are going to be very happy about that, but nonetheless successful.
So they've also brought in Carson Brock onto the field as well. So Yuriauchi is the fullback now with Brock under center. It's 4th down and a long 2. They give it to Yuriauchi, bounced it off one, the tackler drove another one, but he's short. He's got about a yard short of that 4th down conversion. Trumbull County holds, and they'll take the football back over on downs.
Yep, Trumbull did a great job getting to the line, congesting everything at the point of the attack. And Yuriauchi bouncing out to that left side there. However, Trumbull doing a good job staying in position, play side, didn't give up any lanes, was able to bring him down. And I think it was a nice move to put him at the fullback. You put in some real size in there, and they haven't been able to stop him at the quarterback position. So not an awful call.
So Trumbull County takes over. I asked both coaches, I said, all-star game, trick plays, and they said, maybe. So we'll see.
I think we get that same response every week we ask that.
They kind of both told me if the game dictated it, we'd see it. And I said, well, if we kick it off, it's an all-star game. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, it's not the Pro Bowl, so this is much better.
Back to pass on 1st down. That's Hackwelder firing a strike, and that pass is complete to the 46-yard line.
Hackwelder's pass complete to number 29, Marcus Crum.
That's Marcus Crum, the wide receiver from Warren Harding, 5'11", 150 pounds on the catch. Going to be a short gain, though, only a couple yards. Call it 2nd down and 8.
Amir Dixon backed off a little bit, gave a little bit of room there, let the receiver find a spot, just turned around and waited for the ball, but did a nice job recovering, coming up and making the open field tackle.
5:20 to play, first half, 7-0 Mahoning County. Trumbull County on the move in Mahoning County territory. Hackwelder takes the snap. He'll hand it off to his tailback on to 2nd down. And trying to fight, pushing the Pio close to a first down. That's Shamir Franklin from Liberty, plays his home games right here. And it's going to set up a third down and short 2.
And the one thing that really made that work was the backside tackle, Brady Heiner out of Brookfield. 5'9", 260. That's a lot of weight to drag around, but he had some speed going and was able to open up a lane on that right side.
That's one of the things I love about a game like this. Rivals during the regular season working together in an all-star game.
Yeah, and you find out it's amazing how much fun you really have with each other. And, again, you've gotten to compete against each other for 4 years, and now is that one last moment you get to go out and have a good time in front of the crowd.
New quarterback in there for Trumbull County. Trips right. Single receiver left. High snap pulled down by the quarterback. Made one man miss. Broke free across the 30. Out the Warren John F. Kennedy, and that holding penalty is going to wipe off that big run by number 0.
Yeah, maybe the best offensive play of the night for Trumbull. However, as voted on by the crowd over here, there was a hold on that. I think everybody called that one on this side. So after a unanimous consensus, they will bring that one back.
So wipe out that big run by Kamara Jr. and set up Trumbull County now in a 3rd and 11. Going to spot the football at the Mahoning County 49-yard line. 4:09 to play here in the half. What has been a fast first half that included a 30-minute rain delay. Back to pass, takes the shot downfield, just leveled as he threw it. And the pass by Kamara Jr. incomplete, and he took the biggest hit we've seen so far tonight.
Yeah, DeFlorio out of Austintown came through there on a delayed blitz, kind of waited. He'd look to see what was going to open up there, just picked a lane and came through untouched. And again, we can't equate this to the Pro Bowl. There's real contact going on here.
Oh. There might be a penalty for that hit as well. So they will give that infraction to, he said 3, that's Yanni Hazamahalis.
I don't know if he got that one right. I'm pretty sure that was 44, Rocco DeFlorio, that came through and tried to separate him, the quarterback, from his soul.
So that penalty gives Trumbull County a first down at the 34.
We're told there was a little extracurricular on the backside of the play.
After the play.
Out at the corner, because Hazamahalis, I don't know if he would be in the middle like that.
3 to the left, 1 to the right side. Hackwelder, the quarterback, will hand it off. Trying to get to the outside across the 30. Still pushing the pile down near the 25-yard line. That's Shamir Franklin from Liberty on the carry, giving Trumbull County a 2nd down. But they're going to give him the first down. It looked a little shy, but it'll be a Trumbull County first down.
Yeah, great run to the outside there. Again, the lineman taking that first initial step to the left, and that's the key part there, is taking that first step. Make sure you're able to turn your man, and that's what opened up that lane for the first down.
Again, trips to the short side to the left, 1 receiver to the right side. Hackwelder takes the snap. Going to give it to his running back. And this time he has stood up after a short gain. It's Thomas Easton out of Lakeview on the carry.
Now that was on a delay there. I think they were trying to get some of the linebackers not to bail out, but they went into a man defense, and nobody from the Mahoning side went anywhere, so no gain on the play. They were right there at the line of scrimmage.
I am told, from my own experience, his dad was exceptionally fast. Son is even faster.
They evolve as we move on here. The kids now seem so much faster than we were before. Bigger, stronger, faster. The evolution of the high school player.
Ball snap dropped by Hackwelder. He's in all kinds of trouble. They're just going to blow the play dead, and Trumbull County now facing a 3rd down and long on their best drive of the evening.
Yeah, on a drop snap there, and I'm sure the ball is probably a little bit wet from the turf, and there's also the humidity out there as well. Looked like maybe Hackwelder also took a quick step back as that ball was coming back and mistimed it, but Trumbull now slowing down on this drive. Had a really good one going on, but kind of stalled out a little bit.
So it's behind the chains at 3rd down and 14. 2 receivers to each side of the formation. Slot man left goes in motion. They give it to him on the sweep. Try to turn the corner. 25. Still in bounds. 20. And that's Thomas Easton again on the carry.
Picks up good yardage.
We'll have a nice gain, and it'll set up a 4th down. 4th down and about 6 to go.
Yeah, Easton a little faster, I think, than the linebackers had anticipated. They took an angle, but the angle was too shallow, couldn't get to him. Fortunately, the secondary was able to come up and put it and push him out of bounds.
So we've got a field goal attempt here for Trumbull County. So Whitfield from Girard going to attempt this kick. Ball on the 28, make it a 38-yard attempt for Whitfield. High, deep, and Whitfield's kick is good. So Whitfield is on the board from 38 yards for Trumbull County.
Yeah, and that's an impressive kick, even if you're at the college level. But that one probably would have cleared from another 15 yards back. Not only did he get to the uprights, but also went into the soccer net. So we're going to give him credit for 4 points on that.
He gets an extra point? We see that.
Well, he'll get the 3 and then the one that went into the soccer net, too. So.
I thought you were CFLing it for a second there. So our score now with 1:12 to play in the half. It is Mahoning County 7 and Trumbull County 13. And a drive that had positive and negatives for Trumbull County ends in 3 points.
Yeah, a 9-play drive. Unfortunately, penalties pushing it back and then a couple of broken plays. But an impressive field goal by that young man.
So Mahoning County takes over the football. Going to give it on a sweep to the outside. And that is Quayus Patterson, number 5 out of Ursuline on the carry.
From Ursuline is the running back. Brought down by number 34.
One thing I love about the running backs and the receivers that I'm watching today, no hesitation. There's not a lot of dancing going on. So what's aiding him is that speed, going left or right there, just hand them the ball. They never break pace. And that says a lot here, especially for a team that really hasn't been together that long.
40 seconds to go here in the half. 2nd down and 6 for Mahoning County. And they will break the huddle, come to the line of scrimmage. Carson Brock is the quarterback. 2nd down and 4. Now 20 seconds to go in the half. Brock going to hand it off. They pitch it to the receiver who came in motion across the 35, 40, 45, 50, 45, and out of bounds. That is number 6. That is Amir Dixon out of Valley Christian on the carry, and he got out of bounds with 13 seconds to go.
Yeah, and what happened was the outside linebacker to the right side of the Trumbull defense read the motion, man, as if he were chasing down a pulling guard. Usually doesn't let you know where the ball was going to go, but on the reverse, he was too far into the backfield, too deep, couldn't get back, and that opened up that wide side for a big gain.
Spot the ball at the Trumbull County 44-yard line. 2 to the right, 1 to the left side. Brock back to throw, rolling out, looks for his check down and just a little too far out in front as it's some pressure in his face that forced that throw a little early.
Yeah, had a lot of time back there. Eventually he was going to break down. Did a good job getting out to the right side, but really couldn't connect on that pattern on that check down to the running back.
6.8 seconds to go here in the half. 2nd down and 10 from the Trumbull County 44-yard line. Mahoning County with a 7-3 lead, and they are going to bring out the kicker, Anthony Ruggles. They're going to attempt this from, this is going to be near midfield.
I think you're just showing off at this point. So 62-yard field goal attempt here from the 45. We'll give him 7 for the snap and 10 for the end zone.
Yeah, this is, 61, 62 yards for Ruggles, with no rush from Trumbull County. Snap. Ruggles gets his foot into this one. High, deep, and it is going to be short and caught in the end zone by Trumbull County with 1 second to go in the half.
A 62-yard attempt, and that was only about 2 yards short.
I'm gonna say,
absolutely impressive. I know in the NFL they would have gotten excited about that one.
Yeah, that's 58 yards or so. We have come to the end of the first half. Our score at the break in the 39th Annual Mahoning Valley Coaches Association ScoutingOhio.com Jack Arvin Classic. It is Mahoning County 7, Trumbull County 3. And both teams now going to make their way to the locker room. We'll begin halftime after this on Sports Radio 1240 and the iMedia One Network.
Veterans, the Mahoning County Veteran Service Commission is here to help you. Whether you served 5 years ago or 50 years ago, if you are honorably discharged from active military service, you may be eligible for benefits, including Veterans VA benefits, county financial assistance, assisted living benefits, and more. Our friendly and supportive staff is ready to help you. Go to mcveterans.org to see all of the benefits and services offered, or call today. The Mahoning County Veteran Service Commission, serving those who have served.
Lena's Pierogi House is your home for the...
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local events. Tune in and be part of their live weekly shows, as well as the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the PAFL. Find them on westernreserveradio.com, tune in, and the Live 365 app to be part of the area's conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio or on Twitter at WR_radio.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Halftime continues here at Liberty High School. Arrived after some cold periods of time here, but nonetheless, we are having a good time. Great crowd on hand here at Liberty High School. I want to remind you, coming up tomorrow, it will be the high school baseball all-star game right here on the iMedia One Network. Join Mark Means, Dave Ferris, as they will head out to the home of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. Of course, baseball, not so much fun to play in the rain, but we hope that will hold off, and we look forward to being out at that venue all the time. One of the more beautiful stadiums, especially at that level. And then on Saturday, it will be the Youngstown Patricians back at home. They will host the Cuyahoga Falls Rapids. Both teams coming off of a win last week, as the Youngstown Patricians would get the win over the Mid-Ohio Patriots. And the Cuyahoga Falls Rapids, and what many consider an upset, get the last-second field goal to get the 17-14 win over the Cleveland Cobras. Speaking of the Cleveland Cobras, we will have them here at 4:45, and our kickoff will be at 5 o'clock as the Cobras travel to take on those Broncos coming off Cleveland Rams. They are 0-1. Both teams looking to get their first win in the Premier Amateur Football League. Of course, the PAFL making its return this year under Commissioner Jermaine Campbell. And, of course, you can listen to all the PAFL action right here on the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, as well as City View Sportscast, as we bring you football all through the summer and well into the fall. Of course, we'll have the Youngstown Phantoms back here in September. lot going on there as they've just gone through their draft, announcing a lot of the future Phantoms that will be here in Youngstown. And, of course, we'll always talk about the Phantoms that have moved on and have moved into the NHL. As a couple of guys here that we used to just hang out with at the ice zone there. Moving on there is we are very excited to have the coaching staff come back next year. I don't think there's going to be any changes there. And certainly we love working with Andrew Goldman and Kelsey Morton and everybody down there. So, of course, the iMedia One Network, your home for Youngstown Phantoms action, as well as high school football. And, of course, you can tune in all through July here. As Mark mentioned earlier, we'll feed you a little bit at a time here as the schedules come out. And we are looking for some great games in the Valley. And we will have 2 games a week here. So we want to thank John Galbraith, also with the Youngstown Patricians. They will be the title sponsor for the high school season coming up in 2025. Looking forward to a great partnership there as he continues to build the Youngstown Patricians and working off the history of that team. And if you don't, go look them up there. As John, very proud to tell you they're a team, a professional team back in Youngstown back in the early 1920s and maybe just a little bit before then, but certainly some history to go with that. And we got to see the uniforms. Dave Ferris was doing a good job with the video showing us that, and wearing the traditional but updated uniforms for the Youngstown Patricians. And I thought they stand wearing but Patricians very well. So on there in the Youngstown area, if you are in the Mahoning Valley, you're looking to continue your football career, of course, you want to look into one of those teams and certainly get an opportunity to play in front of the home crowd once again. But we'll be week 2 of the PAFL in the 8-week regular season, but we will also be looking forward to the playoffs. Network, most likely being produced by the one and only Dave Ferris.
Let's hope.
I don't know, unless they give us a couple draft picks and some cash to go for Dave Ferris. You know, it's going to have to be high, though. It's going to have to be a good offer.
Well, both teams that we're covering actually look pretty good so far this year. We'll see what the rest of the PAFL looks like.
Yeah, certainly competitive here with Coach Adam Rogers and Jesse Caldwell-Leone. We work with him. That's always a good time. And Cobras come up short again with 2 seconds left. And the Rapids.
Yeah, I was watching your game on our YouTube feed.
Yeah, a little bit of a heartbreaker there for the Cobras, but
it was
a great game played by all, well coached, and just came down to those little things on special teams, especially the snaps and hold. Those things I think have been corrected this week as I've talked to the coaching staff. But you expect those problems in week 1. That's an okay excuse to miss.
I said it wasn't. I literally called it and said, you know what? Who schedules a wedding on the opening day for the PAFL?
Yeah, who does that? That is a good question.
That's like scheduling a wedding on Ohio State, Michigan.
51 other Saturdays to do this on. But nonetheless, Coach Gessler adds to his family, and he doesn't have to rely on us anymore, thankfully.
Yeah.
Comes up on the short end of the stick on that one. Just about 10 minutes left here in the half. Mahoning goes into the locker room with a 7-3 lead. We'll step aside for another timeout. We come back. We'll get you ready for third quarter action. From Liberty High School, you are listening to the 39th Annual Mahoning Valley Coaches Association All-Star Classic here on Western Reserve Radio and Sports Radio 1240. We're back right after this.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it, unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work. Sorry, I'm late. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work.
Sorry, I'm late.
Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time.
Ugh.
Text and whatever. But when you get behind the
Remember
wheel,
him, right?
give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Is that a faucet running?
That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the tree air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or
Chameleon. There's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it. Unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Halftime continues here on the iMedia One Network and Sports Radio 1240. Mahoning County leading Trumbull County 7-3. And what other numbers you got over there?
Well, Mahoning Valley. The Mahoning County side averaging just a little over 5 yards per play. Trumbull County 2.37. Trumbull County going to have to make some adjustments to make up some of this ground. Although with just 2.37 yards per play, they are still only down 4 points.
Yeah, we saw the skill of both kickers right there before the half with Anthony Ruggles attempting the 61-yard field goal that was maybe 3
yards. Defenses are more reactive, so they can make those adjustments. And defenses are more reactive, so they can make those adjustments and get to the ball as fast as they can. And defensively, they can always say, you make that mistake, but make it aggressively, and you can still make a great play. Football, the skill and timing is a little bit more important.
Trumbull County going to get the football to begin the third quarter. What adjustments do they need to make?
Well, certainly I think they maybe need to get to that outside again. They were getting great blocking from the tackles where they weren't getting as much pressure pushing people downfield, but they were stepping to the correct side. They were turning their man and creating the lanes. And I think if they can clean that up a little bit more, they're going to pick up some yards. Also, you got to eliminate the penalties. They had the one big play, probably the best play of the night for them, come back on a holding call. But certainly that happens, and even though most of the offensive line would deny that, nobody ever claims that there's hold. There's never been a hold in football.
Never.
Never.
In the history of the game.
Nope. Bad calls by officials for at least 100 years.
Said the former offensive lineman. We've I don't know what the exact total is, but we've seen less than 5 passing attempts in the first half combined.
Yeah, and like I said, I think in the second half you might see them open up a little bit more. You want to get those wide receivers involved. As much as they don't mind stock blocking on the outside, I'm sure they'd like to show off their skill a little bit here in the second half, maybe get a few catches in there, and who knows, maybe get in the end zone.
And the opportunities for, you've seen so much run that the corners, they start looking inside to help on the run and maybe able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, and that was a philosophy we always used, and I keep talking about Coach Gessler, but that was it. Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, lull them to sleep. And then, you're getting your 15, 20-yard passes, and that's going to open up everything. Now you wake them up. You're trying to break that mode of them looking in the backfield, peeking back there. And even if you can use a play action, just to freeze those linebackers a little bit, you gain that extra second. You can open up something on the outsides.
Now for Mahoning County, Trumbull County going to have twins to each side, single back in the backfield with Hackwelder. Sends a slot man in motion. Going to give it to him, trying to sweep to the outside, try to cut it upfield.
21, Devon
And
Morgan is the
he
ball
got
carrier.
just back near the line of scrimmage. That is Devon Morgan from Warren Harding on that jet motion, and that has not worked for Trumbull County so far tonight.
No, Morgan's got the speed. I think if he'd have committed to it and stayed to the outside, he may have been outrun some of the outside personnel on that defense, but gave up on a cutback and was looking for a lane. Sometimes that cutback, you can catch some of those guys off guard, but certainly not in that not that instance.
2nd and 10 from the 25-yard line. Hackwelder twins to each side, single back in the backfield, takes the high snap, 3-step drop, going to fire down the seam, has a man out there, and that ball intercepted by Mahoning County as he stepped in front of that throw, and that is number 2, Jason Dukes, forcing the first turnover of the day.
Yeah, just a short pass there. Great time in the backfield. Offensive line did a fantastic job for Trumbull County. Threw that ball right down the middle between the hash marks. Jason Dukes, though, went up for that ball. The ability he showed to go that high and grab that out of the air and bring that back down, very impressive. And that'll give Mahoning the ball on the Trumbull County side.
Short field to work with for Mahoning County at the Trumbull 45-yard line.
10 for Mahoning County, the ball at Trumbull County's 45-yard line.
That's Iriauchi there at the quarterback spot. He's going to have 4 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. He's going to run to that strong side and able to find a crease across the 45 and down to the 41-yard line. 2nd and 3rd effort by the big quarterback, gaining some extra yards.
Yeah, it has an advantage. With those 4 receivers out to the far side, they have to respect them, and they got to respect their assignments. And that gives him an opportunity to pretty much pick the lane that he wants to go up. And it's not the fact that there's wide open lanes for him. It's the initial contact and him driving his legs for those extra yards.
2nd down and 6 from the 41-yard line. 1 receiver to the right, 2 to the left side. Single back in the backfield. He's going to get the football, trying to bounce to the outside and pulled down right at the 39-yard line. That looks like Keegan White again on the carry for Mahoning County.
Now, White's talent really is hitting that line initially. If he doesn't get in, he's able to bounce it to the outside. This time he was actually brought down, had him by the jersey. But I love the way he runs north and south. The feet are always moving, and he's going to pick up those extra yards.
So 3rd down and 4 for Mahoning County. 9:15 to play, 3rd quarter. Mahoning County 7, Trumbull County 3. In the Mahoning Valley Coaches Association, scoutingohio.com, 39th annual Jack Arvin Classic. 2 receivers to the right and left. Iriauchi takes the snap, flings it out into the flat. Receiver makes a catch across the 35, carrying tacklers, breaking tackles, and getting down near the 30-yard line. That's Quayus Patterson out of Ursuline. And the first completed pass for Mahoning County leads to a first.
Offense is actually built for this. They're just running the ball, handing it off, and eating up the clock. As you see, the officials will wind the clock here. They'll try to maybe move it a little bit faster.
1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Mahoning County twins to the right, single receiver to the left side. Iriauchi takes the snap. This time he'll give the ball to Keegan White, and White is going to be wrapped up in the backfield for no gain, maybe even a loss of 1. It's 2nd down and 11.
Kenny Bird there coming through there, didn't get real deep again, just got about ankle depth, was able to wait for him, wrapped him up. And that's exactly how you play that. You don't over pursue it, and good things will happen there. You just wait for them. They'll come right to you. He read that very well.
Patterson brings in the play on 2nd and 12 from the 32 of Trumbull County. Same look, twins to the right. Single receiver to the left side. Iriauchi to throw it again. Sets up the tunnel screen. Going to the other side of the field. Makes the catch across the 25. And they're going to say he went out of bounds at the 23-yard line. It's Patterson again on the reception out of Ursuline and opening things up a little bit on this drive.
Yeah, what I'm saying is Trumbull County is they're essentially going with a 5-man front. The outside backers coming up there, so it's one-on-one with the offensive line. So the quarterback for Mahoning knows he's got to get rid of it quickly. Did that quickly out to the flats and just let the skill guys do what they do.
3rd and 2 from the 32-yard line. 1 receiver to the right, 2 to the left side. Single back is to the right of the quarterback. Iriauchi takes the snap, has clear sailing to the 10-yard line, upended before he gets to the 5-yard line. Offensive line did a great job on the right side to open up a big hole for him to run through.
Interior for Trumbull County, And it took the linebackers out of there. Linebackers probably would have had a little bit of a better angle to help on that play, but they had committed to the blitz.
Rain coming down.
On that last tackle.
It's going to be 1st and goal for Mahoning County from the 9-yard line. Down to 6:45, clock rolling here in the 3rd. Mariachi going to keep trying to bounce to the outside. Got a block, turns the corner. And this is a touchdown, but that is coming back.
Owen Urachi on the quarterback keeper for the touchdown.
Yeah, Urachi get into the end zone, but flags everywhere. And I don't know if this is going to be 2 different penalties or is just both officials calling the same thing. Okay, so Yanni Hazame-Halis, the guilty party on that. Second one he's been blamed for, but I think the first one he's actually been.
So that penalty will take the touchdown off the board.
Also, dead ball, number 6, 15 yards.
Okay.
On which team?
Yeah, that's a question. You know, let's see. We've got number 6s on both teams, so.
We've got.
But they've only moved the ball back 15 yards, so I'm going to assume that. All right, so interestingly enough, they didn't offset, and they've brought back the Mahoning squad 15 yards. So as they now will turn and maybe add another 15 to it. Okay.
So both of these penalties going to go against the Mahoning County All-Stars.
Yeah, those will stack up. One was a live ball foul, one was a dead ball foul, so that'll be a 30-yard penalty. And it will be 1st and goal from about the 33-yard line.
Do you miss those days being on the field?
I miss it from the aspect of doing the job. I don't miss the other stuff that goes with it. I really have a lot of respect.
Getting yelled at by coaches? Don't you know?
I have one staring at me. I'm afraid to say anything right now.
Every penalty you called in your entire high school career was wrong.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. There hasn't been a good call made ever. But I do I'm historically may have the distinct pleasure of being the first official to be yelled at for a bad call and then being yelled at by the same coach as a player.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
I don't know if we can look that one up.
1st and 33. They flip it to the receiver who came in motion across the 30, 25, and that is a horse collar tackle to tack on. And now we got a little pushing and shoving, and we got another flag. They got to get this one under control. That carried all the way deep into the benches.
Gabe Hernandez is going to probably get a couple of flags on that, starting with the horse collar tackle and then afterwards the taunting. So a 1st and goal from inside the 10s now probably going to be a 1st and goal from the other side of the field.
So we will have to sort all of this out. We've got all of our officials who are wearing the honorary Mahoning Valley Coaches Association Jack Arvin Classic shirts.
I will say the officials do look very sharp, though. I like that blue.
It's a different look.
It's
Jack Arvin Classic shirts.
I will say the officials do look very sharp, though. I like that blue.
It's a different look. And you don't have them today.
Having been an official, this is also quite an honor. I mean,
and then tackle out of bounds.
Okay, so there's some different rules here with the All-Star game, but going out of bounds, he had a firm grip of that collar. All right, I think we're going to get this correct now.
So both of those will go.
I still didn't hear the words horse collar tackle, though. So, but that's okay. Nonetheless, it's going to be the same amount of yards.
They'll mark off 15 and then the ensuing 15.
Yeah, certainly we want to be careful with that. That horse collar tackle was banned for a reason, and you don't want to see these young men get hurt, especially in an all-star game.
We'll have to see where they're going to spot this football.
Yeah, I think the math is getting away from the officials a little bit here.
Should it be on the 3?
We remind us, well, at one point it would be half the distance to the goal after the assessment of the first penalty.
Okay, after the first
So you would
penalty.
assess the 15, and then from there it would be half the distance. So I think I didn't know there was going to be that much math on this test, so.
I didn't apply for the mathematics job.
That means Mahoney County now will have the ball first down and goal to go from the 12-yard line.
All right, 10, 12, we're close.
So they'll spot the ball at the 12, first and 10. 6:14 to play here, third quarter.
Comes a moment when you say just close enough, Mark, close enough.
Trips left, single receiver right. Uriauchi to throw with time. Now he's going to tuck the football and he's going to run. And he's going to get maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Coming up there for Trumbull County, that's Ian Odell from Warren John F. Kennedy. I was told he will play his college football for the Grove City College Wolverines.
And he couldn't have picked a better place to go, I'll tell you. Beautiful campus, great facilities, and a top-notch coaching staff.
If only their play-by-play guy was better.
And he couldn't have picked a better place to go, I'll tell you. Beautiful campus, great facilities, and a top-notch coaching staff.
If only their play-by-play guy was better.
I'll tell you,
down and 12.
Yeah, Trumbull County doing a good job that time. That was, they had to run that ball because of the coverage in the secondary. Took all the options away. Had plenty of time to drop back there and throw the ball, but for assignments.
Rain continuing to much.
We've seen the Mahoning County team with the ball first and 10 inside the, or first to goal inside the 10, all the way back at the 33-yard line, and then all the way back again, and now it's only second and goal after all of that.
Second and goal now for Mahoning County. 4:36 to play in the quarter, and whistles will blow that play down. Trumbull County will take a timeout to try to get all on the same page. We will do that as well. 4:33 to play, third quarter. Mahoning 7, Trumbull County 3 on the iMedia 1 Network and Sports Radio 1240.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it, unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Rain falling here at the home of the Liberty Leopards. 4:33 to play in this third quarter. Mahoning County, they've led the entire way, leading it 7-3, and they are knocking on the door to try to get some more.
So one at some point, and then back. That comes from our stats team over here.
Total yards on the drive is not much.
I think where the ball is right now, we are +4.
All right. And that has taken a good part of this third quarter. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Running back is to the right side of Hiriauchi. He's going to hesitate, try to bounce to the right side, and we got a helmet going flying as he's going to be stood up at about the 5-yard line.
Yeah, and when you get closer to the goal line, I think this benefits Trumbull County here. They don't have to react so much to the secondary, looking for the pass. They're getting more physical. They're crowding that line a little bit more, so it's hard for anybody to get a nice run off that right side, especially when you're just pulling the ball and going.
So this is third and down and goal from the 7-yard line for Mahoning County. Yuriachi got to get the call from the far sidelines and the Mahoning County coaches. One receiver split way out to the left side. He's going to keep the football, try to cut back, look for the goal line, look for the indication. I'm going to say he is down inside the 1-yard line. That's going to bring up fourth and goal for Mahoning County, Jim.
Yeah, and again, after, if we count them up here, 13-play drive here so far. They're back down to the half-yard line.
Yuriachi under center. Keegan White, the tailback. Keepin White's going to try and escort him into the end zone. And that's a touchdown. That's a 1-yard touchdown. Line to the left to attempt the extra point. High snap, they get it down. Snap and hold are good, as is Ruggles' extra point, making it 14-3 in favor of Mahoning County. Jim, 2:16 to play here in this third quarter, and Trumbull County looking to find some offense.
Yeah, 13-play drive. Started at the 45-yard line, but went back from the 45, 41-39 to the 8, back to the 33, 12, 7, 5, and 1. It's kind of like that game that used to be on The Price is Right, where the yodeler would go up the hill and down the hill. So
that's my favorite game.
Yeah, I believe that was an example Mike Hearn used once in a while, and it always stuck out in my head. But that's exactly what that was. They went up the hill, down the hill, and eventually cap it off with a 1-yard run.
A gentleman that is always so positive with you on social media.
Oh, Mike Hearn, yes, out in the Lima area, and I always give him 50% of the blame of everything. You get the other 50.
And we both appreciate that. Trumbull County with the football, first down and 10. Going to wind the clock. Hackwelder going to go under center, send a man in motion, set up on a wing to the right. Going to turn to pitch it, trying to turn the corner, no room whatsoever as the Mahoning County defense there to come up with the stop. That is Vince Bola from Struthers there, making a home in the backfield for the stop.
Yeah, he doesn't move like he's 6'4", 300 pounds. He came through more like a linebacker. And the running back tried to stretch that one out, was hoping he was going to be able to turn the corner by beating the defensive lineman outside. It wasn't happening. And they're going to have another loss here. And as I'm being reminded here, the ball has not seen the other side of the field yet here in this third quarter.
That is true. Second and 17 from the 18-yard line for Trumbull County. Trips left, single receiver to the right side. Hackwelder takes the snap. Sets up the screen, receiver made the catch, got a block, turns the corner at the 25, and he's going to be close to that first down marker. He's going to go out of bounds near the 24-yard line.
And a big hit to the outside. I think that's going to be Spencer Pruitt out of Columbiana maybe. A couple of 10s on the play, but the other one, Joey Senafani out of Springfield High School.
Looked like he was going to be close to that initial stick before they lost the yards, but this is going to be third down and 12. We're under a minute to play here in the third quarter.
Yeah, Trumbull's going to have to get to the 35-yard line for a first down.
So they will split trips to the right. Set a single receiver that's in press coverage to the left side. Hackwelder to throw it. Goes over the middle, and that pass is incomplete, separated from the receiver. The football from the receiver. And it brings up fourth down and 12 with 22 seconds to go in the third.
Yeah, and not a bad play call at all. That quick slant here coming off the line here, trying to split the defenders. Just couldn't connect on the pass. I don't know if it would have got him the first down, but it would a well-called play on that.
Colin Cope to punt. Back deep for Mahoning County, that's Joey Verone out of Poland. And Jason Dukes from Struthers. Verone running catch at about the 40-yard line. We'll see where they spot that football at the 42. That's where Mahoning County has the football, and we've come to the end of the third quarter. After 3, it is Mahoning County 14, Trumbull County 3. You're listening to the Mahoning Valley Coaches Association 39th Annual Jack Arvin Classic on Western Reserve Radio and Sports Radio 1240.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Mahoning County now left to right as we begin the fourth quarter. They will hand it on a sweep to the outside. And with the football across the 45, down near the 47-yard line, crashing into the Trumbull County bench. That is number 5. Excuse me, that is 6. That is Amir Dixon from Valley Christian. A lot of speed on this Mahoning County team outside.
Oh, yeah, getting outside there made it nice. And one of the things that opened that up was Joey Senafani stock blocking on the outside, just enough to let Patterson kind of choose where he wanted to go. And it makes it a little more manageable second down, a second and 3, second and 4. The playbook kind of opens up a little bit more for you.
Second down and 3. Rain continuing to fall here from the home of the Liberty Leopards. Mahoning County going to split 2 receivers to the left and 2 to the right side. Brock in there at the quarterback spot. They will hand it off to the tailback. And he has stood up behind the line of scrimmage for a 1-yard loss. That's Joey Senafani out of Springfield on the carry.
Yeah, we just talked about him. He was the man on the reverse that time. Couldn't get to the outside fast enough, and one of the problems, again, you start to hold up and the feet start to tap a little bit, and it gives that defense time to react.
Coming from a program where Coach Guerrero loved to run the reverses, the jet sweep, all of those things, a staple of their offense.
There were times when Coach Guerrero would run all those plays at the same time. Try calling that play-by-play.
We still remember the ultimate trick play in the playoffs. The won them a game. It is third down and 4 for Mahoning County. They're going to hand the ball off. And looking for the first down, getting the first down. Second effort by Keegan White moves the chains for Mahoning County.
Yeah, arguably vying for the MVP of this game. Does a great job, and I love when he comes to that line. Got 2 arms on the ball, knees are bent, he's low, dropping his shoulder, getting through there, and driving his legs after initial contact.
Mahoning County substituting. Unfortunately, we do not have a 77 on the roster, so we can't give you that name. So it's first down and 10 for Mahoning County. Trips to the right, single receiver left side. They're going to run it once again with Keegan White to the outside. Bounces off a tackle, has another first down. Give White about 11 yards of great effort and a Mahoning County first down.
Yeah, White's reading the field so well, bouncing those to the outside. If he can't get into the inside, the only thing I'd like to see him do, have that ball held on the outside so he doesn't have anybody reaching in for it.
So first and 10 for Mahoning County, under 9 minutes to play in this game. 14-3, Mahoning County leading Trumbull County. Single receivers to each side. Now eye in the backfield for Mahoning County with Brock under center. Gives it to the first man through. And able to push the pile forward for about 2 with Uriauchi.
Yeah, Uriauchi, I mean, plays a lot of quarterback, but he's so versatile. I mean, and he's so big. You can use him in multiple formations there. And I got to be honest, I'm one of those people. I love the I formation, love that power football. And that's a coach favorite.
6'1", 220. Sounds like a fullback.
Yeah, this area could be a pulling guard too.
Definitely could. 8 minutes to play, fourth quarter, second and 9 for Mahoning County. Twins to each side of the formation. White is the tailback. Carson Brock out of Latonia is the quarterback. Brock looking to throw. downfield. Receiver made the catch across the 30, 25-20, 15-10, and pushed out of bounds near the 7-yard line. Once again,
committing there was they threw to get
first and goal for Mahoning County. Going to put 2 receivers to the left and 1 to the right side. Brock is the quarterback. Single back next to him is Keegan White. White with the carry. And White going to be stood up and pushed back at the 3-yard line. Second and goal from there.
Yeah, Keegan White out of Jackson Milton, not going down on the first contact. I mean, he'll drive his feet. And again, sometimes you have that advantage now. I think the ideal running back, a little bit shorter, stockier, and when you bend those knees, drop the shoulders, and move the legs, you're able to pick up those a yard or two just after contact.
Second and goal from the 5-yard line. 6:35 to play, fourth quarter. Split backs in the backfield with Brock. Going to give the ball to White. Looking for the goal line. He'll fall in from 3 yards out, and that's another touchdown for Keegan White.
Yeah, White, again, just finding room in between tackles, getting upfield, both hands on the ball. Great fundamentals, getting in there. A little bit of hesitation from the linebackers in the secondary coming up. I don't know what they were waiting for on that, but another touchdown for the Mahoning side.
So this will be an extra point for Mahoning County. Clock rolling. Snap down, extra point on the way, and that kick is good.
Makes the extra point.
So with 5:54 to play in the fourth quarter, it's Mahoning County 21 and Trumbull County 3, and Trumbull County running out of time to get back into this one.
Yeah, just under 6 minutes here. Not playing under traditional game clock rules as it is here, but Trumbull's had their opportunities as well. I mean, there were some penalties that were in there and a couple of bad snaps, things of that effect that really took them out of their game.
You're listening to the iMedia One Network and Sports Radio 1240 WBBW Youngstown, a Cumulus media station, as we approach 9 o'clock with just under 6 minutes to play in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and only the beginning of the week here for all the live sports here on the iMedia One Network, and certainly proud to be on Sports Radio 1240 tonight as well.
Coming up tomorrow, 5:50 pregame, 6 o'clock first pitch, weather permitting, the 10th annual Valley All-Star Classic, Mahoning and Trumbull County from Eastwood Field. Trumbull County coming to the line of scrimmage.
Okay, so 12 men on the field for Trumbull, and hey, you know what? You got to try. I always kind of laughed here. If you got 12 men on the field, somebody's in your spot. And the sad thing is, I've done it. So.
Going to run the football on to first down. Ball popped loose. And we'll see who comes out of there with the football.
Yeah, Trumbull's going to come up with it. Rocco DeFlorio coming through there. Not a big hit, but reached that arm in there, was able to rip the ball away. You can see as it went end over end up into the air. Fortunately, Trumbull come back down with it.
Jacob Russell was the ball carrier out of Mineral Ridge, wearing number 4.
Second down and 14 now for Trumbull.
Rain continuing to fall as we've been able to sense the delay in the early stages of this one, be able to keep the clock rolling here this evening. Trips to the right, single receiver to the left side. They're going to run it on second down and 14. Again, no running room. Mahoning County defense there to knock Thomas Easton down in the backfield for about a 2-yard loss. It's going to set up third down and 16.
Yeah, Jason Dukes read that play all the way, came straight up, made the contact, got a little bit of a help, but Easton doing a good job trying to get a stiff arm, but just too many white jerseys in his face.
So third down and long for Trumbull County. That just this Mahoning County defense has been stifling tonight.
Yeah, and you can see there's a distinct size advantage too. Just the eye test.
Back to throw it with time. Going to take off across the 20. Sutter steps to the 25, to the 27-yard line before being stood up.
Kamara Jr., the ball carrier.
That is Marcus Kamara Jr., the
Brought down by number 53,
runner,
Casey Edmiston.
wearing number 0 out of Warren John F. Kennedy.
Alec Abrams
Casey
also
Edmiston
on that
making
tackle.
the initial contact out of Southern Local. The Indians down there, made a trip down there a couple times down in Columbiana County. I don't know if that was you and I that were down there, I believe. I know I've officiated a game down there. Great atmosphere down there. Usually have a packed stadium.
After all the years, the games kind of, they run
They
together
blur.
a bit.
Yeah, I can't remember if I was wearing stripes or a headset.
What if you were wearing stripes and a headset?
They would probably put me away somewhere.
Back to throw, going to take the shot downfield. That pass is caught in double coverage and all the way down to the Mahoning County 40-yard line. Was that Thomas Easton on the catch? Yes, it was.
Indeed. Great concentration right down the middle of the field, right between the hash marks.
I watched Thomas Easton at Lakeview play earlier this year. He lined up at slot receiver. He lined up at quarterback. He lined up at tailback. He punted the ball. He returned punts and kicks.
Yeah, brought water out, put taped feet, did whatever he needed to do. And he's one of the people that are hard to defend. You got to watch where he is.
Trips to the right, looking to throw again. Kamara Jr. rolling to the outside. He's going to run across the 40, steps inside the 35, and it'll go out of bounds at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, he'll stutter step a little bit and head out of bounds, but that's not going to stop the clock. The officials will keep it going. Well, they're actually going to stop it with 2:34, so I stand corrected.
They gave the indication to continue.
Said no.
Stopped at 2:34, and now it will run.
All right, trying to get the TV timeout in.
Compromise. Trips to the right, twins to the left. Kamara Jr. alone in the backfield. He'll drop to throw. With time, taking a shot down the seam. Had two receivers out there, and neither one of them could come up with a football. Looks like it was Thomas Easton, one receiver, and Devin Morgan, the other, number 21.
Yeah, it looked like one may have been running a post from the left side, the other one just finding room down the seam. They ended up in the same area, and I don't think either one knew who the pass was intended for.
Got the officials huddled up at the 35-yard line. With 2:13 to play. What do we got here? Well, we huddled and now heading over to the Mahoning County sideline.
All right, we'll see. I don't know if they're trying to make the game interesting or.
Trumbull County at the line saying we're ready to go, and they will spot the football.
Is there an 18-point play we can do?
I haven't discovered it yet.
They're down 5 now for Trumbull County. The ball at the 35-yard line of Mahoning.
Trips to the right, twins to the left. Kamara Jr. to throw it again, goes underneath, and that ball goes through the hands of Devin Morgan.
Marcus Kamar's pass.
And incomplete. And football got to be hard to grab in a case like this where it's been steadily raining since halftime.
Yeah, you got to get in front of the ball here. The corner was so far back that Morgan just found a spot. He sat there and waited, and it went right through his hands. Did a good job. You see him throwing his gloves off now. As those gloves get wet, depending on what brand you have, some of them get a little more sticky. Some of them start to get a little more slippery. I wouldn't know. I was never a receiver. I wasn't allowed to catch the ball. If it was thrown to me, it was an accident.
You do have an interception, though, in your career, don't you?
I believe I had 4 my entire career. Coach Gessler makes fun of me for at least 3 of those.
Oh, we didn't ask what the return yardage was on those. We just asked if you had interceptions.
I think one I just fell down.
2 to the right, 1 to the left side. Single back in the backfield. Now they send a man in motion. Kamara Jr. to throw. On the run, skips it short in front of his intended target at the 26-yard line. Going to bring up 4th down with 1:56 to play here in this game.
Yeah, Kamara rolling out to his right side there. Couldn't get his hips just around far enough, get those feet planted long enough to keep that off the turf. And I'm not sure that even would have been enough for a first down.
So it is a 1st down and 10 for Mahoning County. And we'll run out the final 2 minutes of this game.
Mahoning County now takes over.
Okay, so under 2 minutes here with an 18-point lead. They're just going to kneel this one out.
So Mahoning County with the quarterback Carson Brock from Latonia. And they're just going to let this clock start to roll down as we're down to the final 1:15. Mahoning County will take a knee and the clock will continue to run. So Mahoning County's only won one of the last 3 meetings. That was back in 2023. They will now even up the last 4 meetings at 2 apiece.
Yeah, and in a dominant fashion, too. Keeping Trumbull County into double digits in terms of offensive yards. And Mahoning County just too big and physical today for the Trumbull County squad.
Yeah, size a definite factor. Trumbull County could not get anything really going offensively. And one more snap, it looks like, for Mahoning County. And head coach Michael Dempster from East Palestine going to put a win in the win column for Mahoning County as they'll win it here as the final seconds roll off the clock. Mahoning County 21 and at Trumbull County 13. We'll take our final break, come back and wrap things up from Liberty on the iMedia One Network in Sports Radio 1240.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local events. Tune in and be part of their live weekly shows as well as the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the PAFL. Find them on westernreserveradio.com, tune in, and the Live 365 app to be part of the area's conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio or on Twitter at WR_radio.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Veterans. The Mahoning County Veterans Service Commission is here to help you. Whether you served 5 years ago or 50 years ago, if you are honorably discharged from active military service, you may be eligible for benefits, including Veterans VA benefits, county financial assistance, assisted living benefits, and more. Our friendly and supportive staff is ready to help you. Go to mcveterans.org to see all of the benefits and services offered, or call today. The Mahoning County Veterans Service Commission, serving those who have served.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Lena's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard, or call 234-254-8532.
Wrapping it up here from Liberty. Big thank you to Athletic Director Todd Smith here at Liberty as Mahoning County gets the win tonight, 21-3. Got it started in the first quarter, 5:49 of the opening quarter, 6-yard run by Keegan White. The first of his 2 extra point made it 7-0 in favor of Mahoning County. 1:12 to go in the half. Andrew Whitfield from Girard connects on a 38-yard field goal. It was 7-3 Mahoning County at the break. 2 scores by Mahoning County, 1 in each quarter, 2:54. Yariauchi, a 1-yard touchdown run, extra point made it 14-3. And then Keegan White's second touchdown run, 6:25 of the fourth quarter. A 3-yard run by White, capping the scoring, 21-3 Mahoning County.
Yeah, dominant performance by Mahoning County, 226 to 76 in terms of yards, and that goes to the size up front there. Mahoning County definitely with the size advantage, and they imposed their will from the first drive. Had stalled out in the second and third drive, but again, I talk about that first drive, near perfection, 12 plays, 75 yards, no negative plays. Trumbull County, I think they wore down a little bit here as they were battling even a quarterback that was 6'3" and 220 pounds.
And it's always fun when we can, start our summer off with some football.
Yeah, certainly, and it just doesn't seem like it ends for us in terms of football. We know our love for that, but this is just going to start the week off, and it was great to come out to see these young men, and I hope win, lose, or draw, they had a good time with this. The game was played safely. Of course, they eliminated some special teams, and I hope some of these guys go on to continue to play. I hope they all go on to continue to play. I'd like to see the representation in the Valley. Every Saturday, we see somebody on a game somewhere where they mention Youngstown, Ohio. Yes.
An official, somebody from the Valley.
I mean, I don't know if there's an area that contributes more to the sport of football than the Mahoning Valley. And so it's great to see these guys. We talked to a few that we know will be headed to the President's Athletic Conference. We're looking forward to that. We'll get to say their names and have a few stories. But guys like Joey Senafani, Wyatt Kuboff, guys that we saw from a freshman on up, Joey Verone, Yanni Hasmahalis, which I got to cover all last year. It's great to watch them grow up. It's sad to see them go on, but we know they're going to do great things, and it's a privilege to do games like this.
More All-Star action will continue tomorrow afternoon, 5:50 pregame, 6 o'clock first pitch. It's the Valley All-Star Classic High School Baseball All-Star Game, Mahoning and Trumbull County. We'll have that for you on the iMedia One Network side of things, and then it's more PFL football.
Certainly. It will be you and a guy named Dave Clark, our in-house pro.
I'm surrounded by Dave.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, that one, I always try to remind the guys with Dave Clark, this is a guy that's been around, played in the old USFL, played for the Los Angeles Rams in the NFL, and to get his perspective is really great. And, at the age, I'm going to age Dave a little bit here. Dave coached me when I was about 10 years old. I hope he's not listening. But, you and Dave there are going to be a 3:45 pregame, 4 o'clock kickoff.
That's right.
For the Youngstown Patricians and the Cuyahoga Falls Rapids, a new team, but not new. A lot of veteran players on that team. And, of course, an hour later, 4:45, we'll have the pregame for the Cleveland Cobras and the Ohio Broncos. 5 o'clock kickoff from Louisville. So there's going to be plenty of minor league semi-pro football to come this Saturday and lots of exciting action.
That is going to do it for us here from Liberty. For executive producer Dave Ferris, the coach Bob Gessler, William Craven, my partner Jim Craven. My name is Mark Means. Mahoning County wins it tonight, 21-3, on the iMedia One Network and Sports Radio 1240.
We thank you for joining us for this special presentation of the iMedia One Network, and we now return you to your regularly scheduled programming.